Alex Perry here from Character Strength. I just wanted to quickly talk a little bit about goal setting. So if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that I like to set myself goals. So I've got goals for 2016, I had goals for 2015, and that allows you to succeed. So without goals, you can never succeed because you've never set the terms by which you are going to judge that success. And what I mean when I say goals is you need to have something to aim for, whether that's getting bigger, getting stronger, whether that's losing weight, whatever you're in the gym to do, you need to have a specific goal in mind of what you're trying to achieve. And I know, yeah, maybe it's cheesy, but we call these SMART goals, and they are, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-based. So that means that your goal makes sense, that you've got ways of tracking it, that it is actually achievable for you as a person, and that it has a time limit, so it has a certain span of time that you can accomplish it in. And that is what you should be doing to set your goals. The reason I bring this up is, if you go into any gym, and this is literally any gym, I mean, yeah, shy of Olympic performance centres, you're going to find this anywhere, and that is when you walk in and there'll be a couple of guys or a group of guys that look the same week in, week out, so they're never getting any bigger, but they're never really losing any weight, they're never really getting any stronger, so they're not really accomplishing anything. They're in the gym, they're not changing their physique, they're not changing their appearance, they ain't getting stronger, they're just going there and killing time. And like, if you're in there 8 to 10 hours a week, that is 8 to 10 hours, that's a huge amount of time. Like, if you just spent that time working, for instance, imagine if you just spent it, working on some secondary source of income, you might be hundreds of pounds a month better off if you just spent that time elsewhere, and you wouldn't look any different because you're not accomplishing anything anyway. So this is why it's really important to have some goals, some measurable, achievable goals that you can work towards that are going to help you out. So let me give you an example. So if I give you an example of a bad goal, let me think. If I was to say your goal is to get stronger, well, yeah, it is a goal, but here's the issue, like, it's not specific, there's no specificity to that. Like, get stronger is achievable, yeah, if you can lift a kilo more, you're stronger, but then it's like, is it time-based? No. Is it particularly, you don't know if it's achievable or realistic because there's no specificity to it. There's nothing, it doesn't really give you anything to work on. Another bad example of a goal, so what about other end of the spectrum, saying you want to become the strongest person in the world? Well, it's a goal. You can even put a time on it, strongest person in the world by the end of the year. But then, what's the issue there? It's not achievable, it is not realistic based on where you are. If you're Brian Shaw, then maybe it's possible to be the strongest dude in the world because that's the level you're training at. If you're Eddie Hall and you're 5th strongest man in the world or 4th strongest man in the world, then maybe, thinking in a year or two, you might be world's strongest man. But for most of us that are just, your average Joe trying to get stronger, even if we perform at a fairly high level, chances are we ain't going to be the strongest dude in the world anytime soon, so be realistic about your goals. And that's what helps keep you motivated. This is one of the biggest things. Like, everyone will say, you got to aim high, and that's true, aim high by all means, but aim high in the future, aim high in the distance. What you need is short, medium and long-term goals, and you want to be hitting goals on a regular basis to keep yourself motivated. So here we go, an example of a realistic goal. So You've analysed yourself, you've analysed your technique, you think about what you might want to improve, and you say, right, my lifting's lagging, my leg strength is pretty poor, I want to improve my squat and my deadlift. I'm going to say, okay, so my goal is I want to improve my squat and my deadlift both by 20 kilograms over 12 weeks. I'm going to train 4 times a week. Is that realistic? Yeah, it is. 12 weeks is more than achievable to accomplish that for an intermediate level lifter. Definitely possible for a beginner level lifter. Even an advanced lifter might be able to do it depending on what kind of programming they're using. So that is an achievable goal. It's time-based because it's in 12 weeks. It's measurable because you've set very specific goals. You set 20 kg and you can measure where you are now and where you're going to. So that's what I'm talking about. That would be a good goal, and then after your 12 weeks, you hit it, provided you've recovered well, and that you've made sure that you've slept properly, you've done all this, you've ate well, you've done all your recovery, you've put the work in. You'll get that goal, you'll hit it, and then you can move on to your next one. And that's what good quality training is about, guys. So if you enjoyed this video, please hit me a like. If you want to hear some more videos about what you should be doing in the gym, then hit the subscribe button, and I will chat to you all again soon.